The wind chill, so get ready for a very cold weekend. I'll talk about it coming up in the weather.
Alice is now doing everything in her power to delay what is the inevitable.
Extra perspective on an array of court filings relating to the Walmart shooting case and the El Paso District Attorney Ivan Rosales, why the case could be delayed.
A man is now behind bars accused of robbing a GECU in El Paso. The evidence investigators say he left behind that led to his arrest.
We'll let you hear the chilling 911 calls a woman made from an El Paso Circle K after she says she escaped the man who raped her and kidnapped her.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7 at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for ABC 7's 10 at 10. I'm Eric Elkin.
And I'm Stephanie Valle, and we begin with this weekend's weather.
We are under an ABC 7 first alert. A new cold front is hitting the borderland right now. If you've stepped outside, you've probably felt it. Parts of El Paso are also dealing with those winds, making everything feel that much colder.
And this whole weekend, you're going to need your jackets and your sweaters. There's even the possibility of some snow in some areas.
Say it ain't snow, right? Here's your first forecast from Chief Meteorologist Doppler Dave Spielman. He joins us live from outside our studio. You drew the short stick here, Doppler.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you put me at the top so I can get it over with and get inside. Yeah, it is cold out here, and we certainly have some strong winds out of the east. And we talked about how once this front blew through here, those temperatures would really take a tumble, and that's what we're dealing with right now. Clouds are starting to move in overhead as well, so these cloud cover is just going to be with us all the way through the entire weekend. But if you look at the graphic there, we have winter weather advisories for our eastern counties, far eastern counties. What that means is we could be looking at some light to moderate snow once we head into late Saturday night and into Sunday morning. We could see a few flakes of snow around here. We'll talk about if we could see any accumulating snow. It's all coming up in the weather.
All right, Doppler, come back inside now.
I will.
And now to extra depth on the activity relating to the Cielo Vista Walmart shooting case today, and most of it surrounded embattled El Paso District Attorney Ivan Rosales and not the alleged killer.
The DA's office is asking an appellate court to nix a November 30th hearing in the 409th District Court where she has been asked to attend, and the defense team thinks they know why it was filed.
ABC 7's Sarah Coria has more information on the filings that were made today, and she joins us live. Sarah.
Well, yes, Stephanie, the motion for a stay of trial is the most significant filing, but the proceedings filing paint a picture of what some call desperation.
Rosales is now doing everything in her power to delay what is the inevitable.
Omar Carmona is the El Paso attorney who previously asked for the resignation of El Paso District Attorney Ivan Rosales. Judge Sam Madrano ordered Rosales to appear in an upcoming hearing after the court and the defense team have not been able to find her.
Mr. Vance, I need you, when you leave here today, to contact Ms. Rosales and remind her of the hearing that is scheduled for November 30th. I want you to tell Mr. Cox the same thing. They will be here on November 30th.
The motion in the appellate court could end the November 30th hearing if the court rules in Rosales' favor. The planned topic on that day? A court-authorized report that accuses Vinton Municipal Judge Roger Rodriguez of representing the DA's office as well as using intimidation tactics on a Walmart shooting victim's family. If the report is correct, it may open up the DA, her top attorneys, and Judge Rodriguez to possible prosecution. The alleged killer's defense team filed a response that says the DA was disingenuous and trying to get out of the November 30th hearing. Carmona agrees.
I have kids here. I have a family here. And God forbid something were to happen to my kids, that I would be looking, I would want a district attorney with a competent administration, and we do not have that in El Paso County. This is very dangerous.
And I have to mention that ABC 7 has continued to reach out to the DA's office for comment for months. We did so again today and did not hear back in time for this newscast. Sarah Coria, ABC 7.
All right, Sarah. A man has been arrested in connection with the robbery of a GECU in East El Paso. His arrest photo was not released, but police published this surveillance image showing the robber when they were looking for him. You may remember it. The suspect arrested was identified as 45-year-old Sherman Edward Lester Jr. of Tucson, Arizona. The robbery happened at the GECU on Vista del Sol in early September. Investigators say he robbed the credit union at gunpoint, took an undisclosed amount of money, and ran away. The FBI says the man fired gunshots, but no one was injured. He's also accused of robbing a bank in Tucson a few days later. Investigators say forensic analysis of a 9mm shell casings left at both crime scenes led to his arrest. Lester is charged with bank robbery and incidental crimes. He remains in custody in Tucson and will have to make a court appearance in El Paso before a U.S. magistrate judge within the next couple of weeks. The case will then proceed to grand jury. Lester faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted.
ABC 7 has obtained the 911 calls made by a woman who says she was kidnapped and raped by an El Paso ISD administrator. The suspect is Jeffrey Stephen Clay, a longtime employee of the school district. He was charged last week. The district fired him and he pleaded not guilty this week. Now we have the 911 call the accuser made when she says she tried to or managed to escape him.
The emergency. I am a victim of rape, kidnapping. Please dispatch a unit at an emergency to take me to the hospital so I could get DNA tested.
The woman made the 911 call from a Circle K in El Paso. Investigators say Clay offered a ride to her to get her to a friend's house, but instead drove her to his home in Anthony, New Mexico. That's where he is accused of handcuffing her and sexually assaulting her. Now, the woman that you see on the screen there is a Circle K employee who helped make that 911 call. Investigators say the woman escaped while he was driving her back to El Paso. That's how she ended up at the Circle K and asked an employee to help her. Now, we interviewed that employee yesterday, and the woman said she could barely speak because she was too distraught.
She came in and she said that someone raped her, just crying that someone raped her. That's all I know, miss.
Prosecuting attorney Matilda Villalobos said in the hearing that Clay has a history of physical and sexual abuse.
In 2014, a minor who Clay had access to, that I'll refer to as victim 1, came forward and explained that Clay had been sexually abusing her for years when she was a minor. The defendant is both a danger to the community and a flight risk and should be detained as such.
If Clay is convicted, he could face a life sentence in prison.
Police have arrested a man accused of driving an SUV that hit and killed a migrant. We brought you the hit and run as breaking news on ABC 7 at 10 last night when police were still looking for that driver. It happened on the border highway near Fonseca Drive. Police identified the driver as 61-year-old Ismael Galindo Corral of Juarez. The victim was only identified as a 52-year-old man from Guatemala. Investigators say Corral struck the man while he and five other men were running across the border highway. The migrant died at the hospital. Galindo turned himself into police. He's charged with accident involving death.
El Paso police say a man assaulted 2 police officers, leaving one with a broken nose and another one with minor injuries. It happened after 2 a.m. this morning in front of the College Dropout Bar in the Cincinnati Entertainment District. We brought you this story as breaking news on Good Morning El Paso. Officers were called to a report of a fight and of shots fired. Police say Kyle Demetrius Ellison attacked the 2 officers when they tried to detain him. They believed he was involved in that reported fight. Ellison is charged with aggravated assault and assault of a peace officer. No victims were found related to the shots fired report.
A Juarez man is accused of burglarizing a Church's Chicken restaurant in northeast El Paso. Here is the suspect, Angel Fernando Zarate. Police say he broke through the drive-through window early Wednesday morning. He's accused of stealing property from the restaurant. Zarate was charged with burglary of business and booked into jail on a $10,000 bond.
A big hit for those who were hoping to drink alcohol during the World Cup in Qatar. It's been banned at or near stadiums. And in Storm Track weather, Doppler.
Well, you know, some of us could see some snow as we make our way through the weekend and look at our latest Future Track snowfall model. That's all coming up.
This is ABC 7 at 10.
Where news comes first.
You're watching.
What would a World Cup be without fans celebrating the action with a beer? We're about to find out after Qatar and FIFA abruptly announced there would be no alcohol sales around stadiums for the Football World Cup starting this Sunday. It's considered a hit for one of FIFA's biggest sponsors, Budweiser. The Muslim country is considered to be conservative and tightly regulates alcohol sales and usage. In September, Qatar said it would permit ticketed fans to buy alcoholic beer at matches starting 3 hours before kickoff and for 1 hour after the final whistle, but not during the match. The country now says alcohol will only be served in hospitality areas and at the fan fests, but not at or near stadiums during matches. The 2022 Qatar World Cup will be run from November 20th until December 20th.
To storm track weather now. We are under an ABC 7 first alert. We can hear the winds in our studio. Doppler Dave, you were out there earlier. It looked really cold.
It's pretty brutal out there, especially on the west side of town, because we have the stronger winds coming at us from the east and pickup speed going up and over the mountains. But here's your actual air temperatures. 39, 36 in Las Cruces, already in the 20s. That's the temp up in Cloughton-Croft and Ruidoso. Now let me flip it over to the wind chills. What it feels like when those winds are hitting you. And it feels like 33 here in town, 29 in Las Cruces. The teens, 12 degrees, what it feels like up in Ruidoso, and temperatures right around freezing off towards our eastern counties. Now the winds are going to stay up into the overnight hours, but they're going to come down early tomorrow. But don't let that fool you. The winds will pick up again by late morning into the afternoon. The winds will continue to be from an easterly direction, but there's a look at the lunch hour. Then you start to see the greens pick up again. So if you're going to spend any time outdoors tomorrow, layer up, because it will be much colder with the winds, especially, like I mentioned, if you're going to be out on the west side of town, the winds will be stronger. The winds come down, and then they should stay down for the most part as we head into Sunday. Now, it's going to be Sunday morning where we have a little bit of moisture moving in here, so that's going to be the opportunity. That'll be the window Sunday morning to maybe see some light snowfall, maybe picking up some flurries or so. Now, the clouds will continue to build in here during the overnight hours. Clouds going to be with us tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day. I think the clouds will hang around until the afternoon hours on Sunday. And then by Sunday evening, the clouds will start to break apart and we'll have clearing skies. So we're not going to see a whole lot of sunshine tomorrow. We'll have some slivers here and there. And then again, later on Sunday, we'll start to clear the skies. But have the jackets handy. Now, let's check this out. Sunday morning, notice as we look to the south, the blues, some snow, the greens, some rain, and then you get the colors here, some of the pinks or some of the purples. That is a mixed bag of some precip, but see how it all lifts up towards the north. So don't be surprised Sunday. Sunday morning, you're out and about and you see some flakes of snow around or some snow flurries. We are not expecting any snowfall accumulations until at least here in town. I think our eastern counties, you get around Van Horn, Culberson County, maybe Sierra Blocky, you might be able to see some light activity. But then we begin to clear the skies out there again by late Sunday. So here's the snow maker, what we could see. And you can see our far eastern counties, not a whole lot, less than a half an inch of snowfall potential once we head into Sunday morning. It's all going to be over with by late morning, right around midday. Look at the overnight low temperatures by tomorrow morning. We'll be cold. Temperatures in the 30s. Again, we got the winds hitting us from the east. Here's your high temps tomorrow. Going to climb only in the 40s. This is more like late December and into January with these temperatures. And you folks in Doñana County, overnight lows for you, upper 20s, low 30s. And here's your high temps tomorrow in the mid and upper 40s. Thanksgiving Day, not too bad. 61 degrees, and we'll have partly sunny skies. So here's how it looks. Overnight lows down to 33. Tomorrow, high temperature will be 46 degrees. That should be about it. Most of the cloudy skies with, again, the windy conditions. 29 overnight in Las Cruces, your high temp tomorrow. We'll make it up to 45 and watch over the next several days. So we go 45 on Sunday, too. First alert day Saturday and Sunday. 56 on Monday. That'll feel nice. And then we climb into the 60s. Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday going to be the warmest day at 66. And then Thanksgiving Day at 61. And then 60 expected on your Black Friday stuff.
All right, Doppler, thank you. Tonight, only 3 El Paso high school football teams were left standing during the playoffs. Find out which team is advancing coming up.
The high school football playoffs roll on with the area around. Only 3 El Paso schools were left standing. Who would take that next step and punch their ticket to the regional quarterfinals? The first game of the day was in Class 5A, Division II, Canutillo taking on Arlington Heights. This game going down in Odessa. First quarter, Eagles on the move. Jeremiah Knox with the pass to Rene Huerta, and run, Rene, run. Rene Huerta, welcome to End Zone City. Canutillo up 6-0 because the extra point was no good. But here comes Arlington Heights in the second quarter. Eric Orozco will find Anthony Lara in the end zone for the touchdown. Celebration right here by the Yellow Jackets was a bust due to the slippery track right there. Thankfully, no one was hurt. They got back up and they're all good. Yellow Jackets up 7-6, but Canutillo's going to answer right back. The give to LJ Martin, but he's not going to run it. He's going to throw it. The lob to Huerta, and he's off to the races. Eagles retake the lead, and after a successful 2-point conversion, Canutillo's up 14-7. Late in the fourth, game tied at 14. Eagles within striking distance. Knox takes it in himself. Just get out of his way. That breaks the deadlock. And fly, Eagles, fly. Canutillo is moving on. Area champions as they win it 21-14 the final.
Everyone did a great job. Defense played phenomenal. Knox really stepped up this game. He had a great game. I believe Rene, he stepped up with 2. Number 15, had 2 big touchdowns for us earlier in the game. The O-line blocked their butts off. Defense played their hearts out, and, just good team win.
We'll next head to Andrews, Texas. That's where we find Pebble Hills taking on North Crowley, a Class 6A Division I area round game. Spartans down by 2, 42-28 in the fourth. But this team has some fight. Gael Ochoa to Robert Deal Jr. for the touchdown strike, and they weren't done yet. Next drive, the handoff to Jacob Ledesma, and he's just running over people. That's good for 6 there. 2 back-to-back touchdowns for the Spartans. Game tied at 42, but North Crowley work it downfield and steamroll their way in to go up by 7. 35 seconds left. Pebble Hill is going to go for the Hail Mary here. So close, but yet so far there as the season unfortunately comes to a bitter end for the Spartans tonight. Pebble Hills falls in this one by a final score of 49-42. We go to Midland. Class 6A, Division II, Eastwood taking on Byron Nelson. First quarter, game tied at 7, but Eastwood knocking on the door. Evan Mijares rolls to his right. He's going to find Jace Molden, and Molden makes the catch while falling to the ground. Troopers on top, 14-7. Fast forward to the fourth. Eastwood down 28-21, but they're within striking distance again. Mijares trying to buy some time. He gets the pass off to Molden again for the house call. Game tied at 28, but the Bobcats would march down the field. Jake Wilson going to connect with Landon Ransom in the corner of the end zone. Byron Nelson back on top with a little more than a minute left in the game, and that would be the difference in this one as the Troopers were unable to respond. Eastwood's season, unfortunately, also comes to an end. The Troopers fall by a final score of 35-28. So then there was one. Congratulations to Canutillo as they move on to the regional quarterfinals, but still, congrats to Pebble Hills and Eastwood for a tremendous season. Definitely give us something to remember this football season. Well, let's talk about UTEP volleyball. The Miners taking the court in the quarterfinals of the Conference USA tournament. UTEP taking on Charlotte in what you would call the battle of the picks here. Miners versus 49ers. UTEP would take the first 2 sets. In the third set here, Miners up 22-20, and UTEP's Marianne Ovalle going to get the kill for UTEP. And the Miners feeling good at this point. It's coming up here, it's match point for UTEP. They've got the serve, and Charlotte unable to respond as this shot too far out as UTEP wins the match in straight sets. They advance to tomorrow's semifinal game against the Rice Owls. Well, UTEP will soon be ditching the Nike swoosh and instead will be going with the lines of Adidas. As today, UTEP announced they have entered a 5-year partnership with Adidas to serve as the official athletic footwear, apparel, and accessory brand for the Miners. The partnership will take effect at the start of the next athletic season next year. So next season, talking about the El Paso Chihuahuas, they'll be celebrating their 10 years here in El Paso, so they got some new swag to go with it, jerseys and hats. These will be put in the Chihuahuas rotation next season, the one with the gold lettering on the far right, the 10-year celebration jersey. Then you have the San Diego Padres look right there in the middle, and the one on the left is part of the Marvel series that the Chihuahuas are going to be doing next season. Cool way to celebrate 10 years of the El Paso Chihuahuas. Finally here, a thank you to Sageland Elementary for inviting me over to Career Day. Had a lot of fun talking to the youngsters about myself covering sports here in the borderland and what my job entails. So that was a lot of fun. And again, thank you to Sageland Elementary for inviting me over. Remember, Miners, we'll be fighting for a bowl game spot. They got to win their next 2 in order to become bowl eligible. Miners taking on FIU tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Well, there's your look at sports. Got more news coming up after the break.
Hi, Jerry Slaughter with Mission Chevrolet, and it's time to begin.
Right now on KVIA.com, you can enter our new Thanksgiving contest sponsored by El Paso Children's Hospital. You have a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. It's pretty easy to enter. This is the homepage, KVIA.com. You just click on that play tab. It's this one right here, the El Paso Children's Hospital $100 Amazon gift card. And then if you scroll down, you'll see we actually have a ton of submissions already. The deadline is November 22nd, which is Tuesday at 4 o'clock our time here. But as you can see, we have lots of submissions already, plenty of photos of family and pets. Also, there's one in particular here. Doesn't have to be a person. Sometimes people are just thankful for their motorcycle. But yeah, there's a ton of wonderful photos here. How about this one? Transplant, the gift of love and the gift of life. And of course, lots of photos of family and people taking advantage of those pumpkin patches just from last month. Although if you head out to the pumpkin patch right now, you might get a little chilly. But again, your chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. The deadline is Tuesday at 4 o'clock. All you have to do is upload the photo, then the winner will be selected at random. So best of luck. Just submit that photo, what you're thankful for, and you've got a shot at winning $100. We'll be right back with your chilly, cold, first alert forecast.
It's an El Paso favorite.
Oh, it's cold out there now, and it's going to be cold for the weekend. So whatever outdoor activities, dress in layers, because we'll have those easterly winds, more specifically on the west side, because you're going to have the stronger winds and hence the little more brutal wind chill. But look at these temperatures. I mean, by lunchtime, 45, 42 expected by the 5 o'clock hour. Now, the winds will come down a little bit. You know, we get into mid-morning or so, but then they're going to pick up tomorrow evening. Wind shouldn't be a problem on Sunday, but still cold with temperatures in the mid and upper 40s.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
all right, Doppler. Thank you. When it comes to campus safety, the Virginia Tech Police Department is not horsing around and just added a new crime-fighting member. This is Ringo. He is the newest crime-stopping, heart-stealing, hand-shaking member of the patrol. He shares smiles with students on campus to help relieve stress and helps the department to spread important information. Leslie Gregg is the proud owner of the four-legged Crime Stopper and says this partnership started from her walks on campus with Ringo. With his booties and a diaper, he is an all-terrain pony with a little horsepower. One officer credits Ringo for the low crime on campus. So sweet.
A hoof shake.
I love it. I love those little booties. Yeah. Who would want to do anything in front of Ringo?
Thank you for watching ABC7.